What if I told you that during the Cold War, American soldiers walked around with a nuclear weapon you could fit in a backpack? And they almost blew themselves up with it multiple times. This isn't a movie plot, it actually happened. This is the story of the Davy Crockett, the smallest nuclear weapon ever made. It was a bazooka that fired nuclear bombs, and it was one of the most dangerous ideas the US military ever came up with. Imagine a weapon so small that 3 soldiers could carry it, but powerful enough to wipe out an entire enemy battalion. In the 1950s, the US military was facing a big problem. The Soviet Union had a huge army in Europe, and America needed a way to stop them if they invaded. But how could a small number of used soldiers hold back thousands of enemy troops? The answer, they thought, was tiny nuclear weapons that could be used on the battlefield. So the military started working on the Davy Crockett. It looked like a regular bazooka but was much bigger. It came in 2 sizes, one that could shoot about 1.25 miles and another that could go 2.5 miles. The nuclear bomb it fired was tiny, about the size of a watermelon, but packed the power of 15 to 20 tons of TNT. Here's how it worked. Soldiers would set up the launcher on a tripod. Then they would load the nuclear projectile, which looked like a small bomb with fins. They would aim it using a simple sight, pull the trigger, and hope they ran away fast enough. The Davy Crockett was first tested in 1962. The tests showed some serious problems right away. The weapon wasn't very accurate. It could miss its target by hundreds of yards. And the nuclear radiation it released was deadly to everyone nearby, including the soldiers who fired it. But the military kept using it. They sent Davy Crockett systems to Europe and South Korea. US soldiers trained with them, learning how to set up and fire these nuclear bazookas. They were told that the radiation danger was small, but that wasn't really true. The most terrifying part? The soldiers firing it had a good chance of being caught in the blast. In one test, the wind changed direction, and the radioactive cloud blew right back over the soldiers conducting the test. The men had to hide in their tanks to avoid getting a deadly dose of radiation. Imagine being one of those soldiers. You're told to fire this nuclear weapon at the enemy, then jump in a hole, and hope you don't get vaporized by your own bomb. And even if you survive the blast, you might still die from radiation sickness days later. The Davy Crockett had other problems too. The nuclear bombs had a tendency to deteriorate over time. They could leak radioactive material, making them dangerous to even handle. And if one was dropped by accident, it could cause a nuclear disaster. There is a famous story about a Davy Crockett exercise in Germany where a nuclear bomb accidentally fell off a truck. The soldiers panicked, not knowing if it would go off. Luckily, it didn't, but it shows how dangerous these weapons were. The Davy Crockett was retired in 1971, having never been used in combat. By then, military leaders realized that using nuclear weapons on the battlefield was just too risky. The radiation would kill everyone, not just the enemy. Today, only a few Davy Crockett systems still exist in museums. They stand as a reminder of how desperate the Cold War made us and how close we came to nuclear disaster. It's hard to believe that we once thought it was a good idea to give soldiers nuclear bazookas. If you want to learn more about Cold War weapons that almost changed history, subscribe to the channel.